Hello, hello. How's everyone doing? Trying to get my phone to be in the right location. So, let me see. Alright, I think that works. Trying to set it up where I can read my notes from the computer. So, how is everyone doing? I think I might be live. Let me see. Let me check on my other phone. Make sure that I am live. Hey darling, I guess I'm live. How's it going, beautiful? I've been meaning to talk to you because I want to know what your new business is about. I heard that you changed directions, so I'm curious to know what it is you've been doing. So, ladies, I'm just sharing the video. I'm going to talk about something pretty important today that people really need to learn and recognize, because there are way too many toxic people in the world, and sometimes you're one of them as well and you just don't know it. And I didn't know I had been a toxic person for a very long time, and now that I have been through this journey of transformation where I finally get to know myself and build self-confidence, because a lot of these toxic people are just very low confident people. They have no confidence, so they have to deflect and they have to do all kinds of things to get recognition. So I thought, let's talk about this. This is a really important topic. So share this out, share an invite if you haven't shared yet. I appreciate whenever you share the love. All right, I think I am good. Hey Angie, how's everybody going? I have missed you guys. I feel like if I don't go live 1 or 2 days, something is missing in my life. Like, I need to talk to you guys and see your comments and just interact. You know, it's so awesome, the power of the live video on Facebook, because you know, build these relationships with people all over the countries, all over the country and in other countries as well, that you never seen, but yet you feel very close to them because you see them on your lives and you talk to them, they talk to you. Hey Brenda, how are you, mama? So I'm super happy to be here. I couldn't do my life artist show last night because I was in a training learning more about how to become a better diabetic educator and help the physicians that I visit learn how to manage the diabetes on their patients. So I want to say have Lily say hello, because she's been missing you guys. Hello everybody. Hey mommy. So thank you for the hearts, ladies. So let's get into it. If this is your first time watching, thank you for being here. Thank you for watching on replay. I hope this blesses you and helps you understand if you are in a toxic relationship or if you are the toxic person creating that toxic relationship and environment for others. Hey Andrea, how are you, beautiful? And my name is Maria Morales, and I am also known as the Life Artist. I am the founder of the Beautiful and Confident Movement for Women, where I help you transform, break out of that cocoon, and go from invisible to visible. I teach women like you how to let go of old cycles, spread your wings, and become the beautiful and confident artist of your own life. And today we're talking about toxic people. And it's interesting because when I was doing research to put this topic together for you guys, I realized that I was actually one of those toxic people for a long time. And what we're really gonna the topic that's really gonna be touched on today is about the people that blame others. And there's a lot of people that play that game, the blaming game, and they live life like that. They never grow, they never progress, they don't move up. And they expect people to live in those type of environments where they are blaming you for everything. And I was one of those that blamed everybody for my unhappiness. So I blame my partners, I blame the ex-husbands, I blame the new boyfriend, I blame the past boyfriend, I blame the parents because they were overprotective. I blame all of the things that I was, you know, the very unhappy person that I was, and the loser that I felt inside, on everybody else but me. You know, I couldn't take responsibility because I didn't even know that it was my responsibility to make myself happy. And it all came from having lack of confidence. When you lack confidence, you're gonna do all kinds of other things to find a way for others to take care of you, for others to make you feel good. And it's very interesting when you hear today the different types of toxic people and what they actually do to make themselves feel better and make you feel like crap. So I'm going to touch on some sensitive things, and I might call some of you out, because if you're one of them, we got to change that. Nobody here that watches me should be wanting to continue to be in a toxic relationship or be a toxic person to anyone. So share this out. It's going to be on fire tonight. Okay, so we're going to talk about the eternal victim. That one is the first one. The eternal victim. They are the ones that they're very difficult to get through. Okay, you can't get through to these people. They are very stubborn mules. And they might seem harmless at first, but their words and actions can be very, very toxic. And the victim never lets go of the past, hurts or offenses, and they're always blaming others for their inability to move forward in life. So you might have been a victim before. I was a victim for a very long time. I thought, well, I just can't feel good about myself because I had so many men hurt me. Or, I'm just broken. So that was an excuse. And I was just a victim. I can't do anything right. And you always talk to these people too. If you tell them something that you think is something that's going to make them be better about us, you give them some good constructive criticism. And they just immediately say, I can never do anything right. Everything I do, you hate. Fine. That I won't change anything. I know somebody very close to me that plays the victim role very, very well. But I did too. Whenever a guy will tell me something about me, I will just play this victim role and break down into a million pieces and cry about it and say, I can never do anything to please you. I bet you just want someone else that's better than me. I mean, I will just fall apart in an instant. So the victim blames even the most obvious of their own flaws or on anyone that they can reach or talk to. So whatever flaw they have, they blame it onto someone else. It's pretty interesting. They have an angry outburst, and it is because the abuse they suffered in childhood. So they blame that on that. I'm just an angry person because my childhood was very difficult. I'm just an angry person because, somebody molested me when I was a child. Or I'm just always defensive because somebody hurt me and people have taken me for a fool too many times. Any of those? There's a lot of victims out there. So they will relay sob stories if you have ever failed them, they will remind you for the eternity. They have like a little Rolodex, and I think they put them in the little cards in there, and then whenever you're doing something that they are upset about, they're gonna go through the Rolodex and pull it out and say, oh yeah, do you remember when you did this in 1965 on June 23rd at 6 p.m.? Well, I didn't say anything about that, but you did this to me. And it's like, what does that even matter right now? That's like a million years ago. We're talking about something completely different today, right? You've heard it. Say me if you've heard someone say that. And sometimes maybe you've done it. I did it for a long time. I held on to everything a guy will tell me. Everything that my ex-husband said that I didn't like, or anything they did that I didn't like. I will hold on to that Rolodex and say, oh yeah? Oh, you're mad at me for this and this? Well, let me pull this one out. You remember this one? Oh, you remember this one 10 years ago? Oh, how about you remember this one just 5 minutes ago? I mean, what is that? And I am just so glad that I don't have that Rolodex in my head anymore. It's gone. And if there's a little bit of it left, I'm letting go. Well, I'm so glad you guys are being honest. Because, yeah, we do this. And is that healthy for us? It isn't. Is it making you happy to hold on to that and bring it out whenever you need a card to just hurt the other person more than they're hurting you. It's not making you happier. It's not letting you move forward, and you are being a toxic person to that person that's with you. So let's get rid of the victim mentality. The next one is the narcissist. A narcissist is the character with the most toxic manipulations. The narcissist thrives on attention, and when they fail to get attention, they generally move on. They also thrive off the blame game. A narcissist is never wrong, and anything that happens to them is never their fault. The reason is because this type of person wants you to believe that they are superior than you. And even though deep inside they know they're not, they have to always come up on top. These are the ones that will never lose an argument. One of my ex-partners used to be like this. And I always said, why do you think you know everything? You even know more than me in my own career. And you never even went to school. What are you talking about? Or we will be talking about, let's say we were with friends. And we will be talking about how long it took us to get here to their place. And I would say, well, it took us 20 minutes. Traffic is really bad on Fridays. No, it's not. It took us 18 minutes. I'm like, really? Why do you have to defend anything I say and fight it so that when you say it's actually the right thing? It took me 20 freaking minutes on a Friday. Were you there in the car? Something so stupid like that. But everything I said, he always had to just make me look bad in front of anybody so that he could get the attention on him. I could never be part of the conversations. I ended up actually just staying quiet, and at the end of whatever visit we did, I would come home and cry and say, you didn't even let me interact with the people. Do you realize that you're always making me look bad with everything I say? Why do you do that? No, I don't. It was never his fault. And then whenever something didn't go well for him, he was broke, he did this and that, it was never his fault. It was someone else's fault. It was the government. It was the crisis, the crash market. It was what else did he blame it on? It had to be blamed on me sometimes too, of course, So that's the narcissist. The pathological liars. Oh gosh, I've known a few of those. There's not much elaboration that has to be done when it comes to these individuals. The pathological liar will lie about everything. We know that. And even though they really feel and they actually know they don't have to do it, it feels necessary to them to do so. Even the smallest things will be reason enough to be untruthful. So using the blame game on others seems quite flirting to them. And since they lie all the time, they blame their failures on others by simply doing whatever it takes to make the blame stick. So I had somebody like this that I dated. And he was always, if one day he couldn't come see me, he will be like, well, I just had an argument with my ex-wife and I'm just no condition to hang out with you. I'm like, but why? Maybe I could make you feel better. Maybe we can talk about it. I mean, we've been dating for 2 weeks. You should be excited to see me. Who cares what kind of things you went through during the day? Or why did you even take this phone call before you came to see me? No, I just can't do it. I'm totally broken today. All of this junk. And it was actually a lie. He will blame something about how he was feeling in the moment on someone else so that he didn't have to come be with me because he was actually cheating on me. And I had no idea that that's what he was doing. But he had all kinds of excuses and all kinds of reasons. Some days he will be like, well, I just have piles and piles of laundry to do. And I haven't been able to keep up with my apartment, which was a 1-bedroom because he rented the room from another person. So he lived in a tiny bedroom. That was his place. And he barely got out of that area. And he said that he needed to clean it and he needed to do this and that and do piles of laundry. When do you know a guy that has piles of laundry? They don't even have that much clothes to begin with. Now women do. And if they, are just recently dating you and they're like so in love with you and can't wait to see you, but all of a sudden they give you these stupid reasons, they are making up a lie just so that they don't have to come and be with you. Either they're cheating on you or they really don't really like you. They just don't know how to tell you, well, I really don't think this is gonna work. They just keep having you linger around because I'm not sure. What if I don't have anybody else better? I'll just keep this one around. And some others are just such pathological liars that they have to lie about everything that they are. They lie about what kind of job they have, how much money they make. They lie about circumstances and people that hurt them so that you feel sorry for them. So they are a victim, but they're also a liar. These people are horrible people. And the thing is that we believe them because we're good people and we think, we give them the benefit of the doubt. It can't be that they're really that bad. So those are those. Oh, thank you, Andrea. I'm so glad you're listening. I'm glad that you're liking it. It's a fun topic to talk about, but it's also very real. Very real. So then we have the ones that have low self-esteem. And these are the ones that play the blame games because they seem to be they will seem like the last ones you think will shift the blame. However, sometimes the self-esteem falls so low that in defense, these individuals may desperately try the blame game in order to improve their self-image. So, this one is interesting. I have a lot of customers, a lot of my clients and patients that I deal with diabetes management and weight management clients. And they blame their weight gain and the way they look on their spouse. And usually these are men, men that are morbidly obese, that are here having to talk to me, a younger girl that's telling them what they need to do. And they're embarrassed, that they are not looking their best. They're having issues in their sexual life because diabetes affects that too. And their wife is here just telling on them, So I ask them, I just usually tell the wife, let me just hear where he's coming from. And then, I know you really care about your spouse and your husband, but let's see where he's coming from. Sometimes we become naggers and we don't really help them. And they will say, well, I'm fat and my sugars are high because my wife feeds me too much. And I say, is that true? They're like, no, I don't feed him that much. Besides, I didn't make you eat it. Well, I'm fat because my husband or my wife buys donuts and they have snacks all around the house. Yet the wife looks totally thin. She works out. She eats whatever she wants in the right way. And the guy's just gaining weight by the minute. And when I had very low self-esteem, I did the same thing. I used to blame my ex-husband on being fat because he loved to have milkshakes for dinner. And they were huge loaded milkshakes, about 2,000 calories a piece. And whenever I saw him eating it, I would get upset that he could eat it and not gain weight because he was in a very physical, demanding type of job. So of course he didn't gain the weight, but I wasn't. I was very passive. My job is sitting down all day long, driving and sitting, sitting and driving. And I will be like, well, if that's all there is for dinner and he doesn't want to eat any food, then I'll just have to drink that shake. And this is why I'm gaining weight. So I will shift my blame onto him because I couldn't take responsibility of the fact that I did not want to cook. I did not want to buy anything healthy. So it was easier for me to just say, well, he's going to buy a milkshake. This is why I'm going to have to drink it because he's bringing it. So the people with low self-esteem will blame others on why they are not healthy, why they are not doing well in life, why they are not getting better jobs. I mean, they blame it on Trump, they blame it on Obama when it was Obama, they'll blame it on the cat that's roaming around the house. They'll find someone to blame for their failure. They do not know how to take responsibility because they're very, very low in their self-esteem and self-confidence. So if you are identifying with one of these people, you need to talk to me. And then there's got the arrogant one. The arrogant one, they're very egotistical individuals. They will always play the blame game. And it's usually an everyday activities is very normal for them to do. They walk around with this inflated ego and place the responsibility for their actions on everyone else. And this arrogant person is able to retain their elevated status in their head as self-proclaimed superior human beings. You know who I see? I see this one all the time. It's the physicians, My job during the day is to be kind of a consultant, a trusted advisor for my physicians. And I go visit them and I bring them, up-to-date clinical information, ideas on how to manage the patients with diabetes, ideas on how to educate them, things like that. And usually when I point, we pull a list of all of the patients that are out of control. Their sugars are very high. And, physicians get evaluated at the end of the year for how many patients they have out of control in their practice. And the insurances either take money away from them or give them a bonus if they're doing well. Well, when I go to these physicians, today I had one, and I was talking to her about her list. And I said, most of your patients here have sugars of over 500. How can I help you? Can we discuss these patients? Oh, they're all non-compliant. These patients are just a mess. They don't want to do what I tell them. You have been telling them forever, and they don't want to do it. And I'm like, well, I understand, there's a lot of people that just don't have the motivation, and they're going to be difficult to manage, but sometimes we need to dig deep and find out a different way of approaching them and talking to them. Maybe you just need to appeal to what is it that they want out of life. Maybe they don't even have passion in life anymore. They don't think they have any reason to exist. So why would they do anything you tell them? No, that's not it. They're just non-compliant. They just want to eat everything they want. They don't want to exercise. They don't want to use their medication. And so it didn't matter how many different ideas and approaches I suggested to her. She kept blaming it back on the patient. And one of them was very interesting. I said, well, how much insulin do you prescribe for your patients when they come here with sugars of 500? Well, I usually do 10 or 20 units. If you don't know much about insulin and diabetes, 10 or 20 units for a very obese person is like tickling their toes. It's not going to control their sugars, okay? And then I said, okay, well, you're starting slow and you like to be careful and cautious, and you don't want to do too fast. So, I'm buttering her up because I know she has a really big ego. And I'm thinking, well, maybe that's what it is. She's just being cautious. And then I said, well, how long do you keep them in that dose? Do you tell them how to adjust it, or do you wait till they come back? Well, I wait until they come back in a month to adjust their medication based on their sugars. And I said, oh my gosh, you're waiting a whole 4 weeks with the sugars at the same level, and you have not adjusted that medication. They wasted another month. I mean, think about it. They've been at 500 for months now, and now you're giving them one more month without controlling their sugars? I would love for you to be a little bit more aggressive. Can I help you with that? No. This is not the doctor's fault. And she pointed her finger at me. This isn't the doctor's fault. And I said, I'm not saying it's the doctor's fault. It's just something for you to consider. If you were my patient, would you like me to keep you at a very low dose with your sugars continually high and wait for you to see me in a month for me to tell you, okay, go up 2 more units? She's like, no, I'd like you to adjust me accordingly as soon as possible. I said, well, then let's do what we need to do for the patients. So at the end of the conversation, it took me 45 minutes of her fighting me and having to put her ego in front and blaming everybody instead of identifying that there were some areas in her practice that she could improve on, causing their patients to be better. And at the end, I said, okay, well, just know that I'm here for you. If you ever need some help with these very difficult patients, let me give you a try. I mean, you're not going to lose anything. If they don't want to do it, then we know it was their fault. She's like, no, don't leave. I want you to come and work with my patients. Just tell me what it is we need to do. So finally, she calmed down and realized, maybe I need to stop being so arrogant and think that it's all about me and I'm the perfect superior human being, and know that maybe there's some things that she can teach me that the patients might respond better to. So those are the arrogant people. And then the last ones are the control freaks. Yes, we said it. Control freaks. They might not have bad intentions. And you might absolutely hate those words I just used. But control freaks will never be at blame for anything. Why? Because if they admit to failure, if they admit that it was their fault or they were wrong, they lose control of the situation. And they're control freaks. They have to be constantly in control. So they can't accept that you were right. They will blame you for whatever is happening to them, because otherwise they're going to lose control of the situation and look like they're out of control. So they play this game really, really well. So all of this to say, some people are not going to change, but if you're one of them, you could change. I mean, if you've been watching me, it's because you like to be better. If you didn't feel like you could improve anything, you wouldn't watch me, because you could just go watch something else. But if you've been watching me, it's because you like what I've been saying. You like identifying that maybe you lack confidence in some areas, and you could use some pointers, you could use some guidance, you could use some help, you could use some motivation to get you out of a pattern that's been toxic for you. Or you've been living in these toxic relationships and you've been accepting these people's behaviors as normal. And I'm sorry, but you don't have to. If you think they're inappropriate and they're making you feel horrible, then you need to have the confidence enough to tell them to stop, enough to get out of that situation whenever possible, enough to say, this is unacceptable. You cannot blame me for everything. You are a human being that has to take responsibility for their own. It's your own life. It's your own body. It's your own mouth. If you choose to eat what I cooked, it's because you wanted it, not because I forced you to eat it. Nobody's putting a gun to you and saying you need to eat the food I made, or you need to eat the snacks and the cookies that I brought home. They were for me, you know, if it was that instance, like I said earlier. I don't buy that stuff because I have no control over them. And then I eat them. Admit it. If you are one of those, if you identify with one of these, admit it to yourself and just start looking at a different perspective and work on it. Every time you find yourself blaming someone else for your failure, blaming the fact that you can't leave a relationship because you have no money, well, you could go make your own money, you know. There's all kinds of ways. You do not have to depend on this man to stay with you so that you can survive. So that's one of them. There's so many women out there that just say, I just can't leave this toxic relationship. It's hurting me. It's crushing me. It has me with no self-esteem whatsoever. But I can't leave because I just can't live without the money that they provide me. Well, what do you mean? Are you not able to work at all? Are you not able to sell something online? Are you not able to get a little job here and there, a part-time job? Everybody can do and sell something if they need to. It's just a matter of what you think you can and cannot do, and those are limiting beliefs. But it also has to do with low self-confidence. So stop blaming the reasons why you're not losing weight on the time, on the fact that you're tired, that you have too many kids, that you have to work full time, that there's food in the house that is not good for you. Stop blaming. Accept that it is you who has no control over your desires, who has no strength and willpower to make a change and take massive action and change your life. So I hope this helped you. And I put a link up in the description of the video that has a Life Artist application, and it will get you to schedule a call with me, a free 15-minute discovery call, where we can talk about which areas in your life you need help with. But it also gives you an idea and an assessment for yourself as to where is it that you are lacking confidence, where do you need more guidance, and what other things you'd like to learn. So fill it out. There's no pressure. You know, if you don't want to have the conversation with me, that's totally fine. At least it will help you assess some things that maybe you haven't really realized in about your life and about your personality and about your confidence level. So Share this out if you haven't shared that yet. I hope you liked it. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys soon. Bye bye.